Hello again. Welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, I hope you all had a good break, and we sure did. So.
Hope you had a candy break, a fruit break.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, when we were growing up, if we had a short day at school, we didn't have a lunch or a recess. We had a fruit break.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. My dad would give me a banana or an orange.
Oh yeah, you
Or
told
an
me about
apple.
that story a long time ago.
Yeah, but all the other kids had pudding.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. When I was in during lunchtime when I was in elementary school or whatever, they all the kids had like candy bars and all that stuff, and I didn't have anything like that except other things. I mean, I would have a candy bar every now and then and ice cream, but my mom was trying to like watch what I ate.
Yeah. Well, a lot of kids tell me their parents watch what they ate, but most kids I knew just ate what they wanted. If they felt like ice cream, they wanted a soda. I knew kids they would get the 2 liter of soda.
Mm-hmm.
It was always in their refrigerator, and they drink it till it was gone. No water, no orange juice, nothing, no milk. And then once the 2 liter, it's a lot of soda, the 2 liter when you think about it, for your system. Once it's gone, then they open up another one.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the high school coaches were upset with a lot of the teams because they just drank Pepsis all day.
Got hyper.
They got hyper,
probably,
yeah.
so.
And all that sugar in your system and
Oh
everything.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm one to talk. Look at that. I even have candy on my tie.
Oh, I love it. It's so cool.
We got
Sweet tarts, raisinets,
Sweet
crunch.
tarts.
Oh, speaking of that the crunch candy bar.
You like Nestle's Crunch?
Yeah, because there was a commercial back when I was a kid, back in the 80s.
Mhm.
And the little boy starts singing, "Scrumptious and the crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch."
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah, and I remember there was a Crackle bar. Nestle's had the Crunch
yeah, I
bar,
remember
but
that.
but there's a Crackle bar for Hershey's, and I don't really know the difference in them. If you gave me a
No.
blind taste test, I would think that they were the same candy bar.
My grandfather's favorite was Mr. Goodbar.
Mr. Good Bar is good.
Yeah.
Is a good bar.
I bought it for him one time years ago when I was grocery shopping for him. And I would buy some extra for him. I'd be like, "Here you go," and he got all excited.
I'm a candy bar aficionado.
I mean,
When I
do
eat a
love
candy, back my doctor about 10 years ago said, "You got to stop eating so much candy."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, what should I do?" When it talks about candy, he was basically talking about chocolate bars.
Yeah.
I don't really eat, the confectionery so much. I don't suck on mints or anything like that. I don't.
I love Hershey bars.
Yeah, I like chocolate bars.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Mars
chocolate.
Company, the Nestle Company, the Hershey
Yeah, me
Company
too.
owe me a
Sometimes I would
owe
crave,
me a dividend every year.
Sometimes I would crave a candy bar every now and then. And then I would maybe go to 7-Eleven or maybe go to the grocery store line and get
Yeah.
one.
Oh, I was at a grocery store line. Actually, this is old news for most of you people, but I went to the grocery store line and I saw that the candy bar is like $1.25, $1.50. I said, is this a grocery store or a hotel lobby? And they said, you evidently have not bought a candy bar in a long time. I said, no, I thought this was. And he says, in the vending machines, they're even more. And I said, well, I don't go to vending machines.
Oh, yeah.
I always get my money lost in them. As a kid, so
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
put money in a vending machine in
Oh, yeah.
40 years.
Yeah.
Now listen, I got the I would get the chocolate, and we were just talking about this the other day with a friend of mine that it's been a long time since I've actually eaten a whole candy bar. I've only eaten the Halloween size, the fun size, the miniature
Oh, yeah, I
size.
love those.
I eat about like 20 of those miniatures, thinking that I'm eating just one candy bar. The equivalent of one candy bar.
My dad was craving candy bars a couple times recently because the candy bars that you got me for my birthday,
What was that?
and it was the Kit Kat and the Snickers.
Yeah.
So it was like a crunchy Snickers,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you gave me those for my birthday.
Oh yeah.
And my dad was like, I want some candy bars. Can you give me a candy bar?
I'm Willy Wonka when it comes to chocolate. And
And then I gave some of those candy bars to him. To
Yeah.
share, so.
yeah, I think you have to share chocolate because I remember this girl once. I went to visit this girl. I think it was a party, and she was having all her friends there, and I was like the only boy who showed up. So she said, "Look what my boyfriend, who's not here, got me, a Whitman sampler." He said, "Have a piece," and I said, "Okay." Have another piece. All right. And then maybe 20 minutes go by and we're talking, and then she goes, "Have some more of the chocolate." I go, "Okay." Have another piece. I had 4 pieces at this point.
Wow.
So then maybe 5 minutes went by and goes, "Don't you like this chocolate? Why aren't you eating it?" And I said, "Wait a minute. It's your chocolate. He bought it for you. I'm not going to eat your chocolate." He goes, "No, I think you misunderstood. The more chocolate you eat, the less chocolate I eat, and I'm on a diet."
Okay.
But I got some chocolate we can enjoy right now.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
When was the last time you had one of these?
I haven't had those in many years.
I didn't even know they still made them. Actually, this is actually from 1983. No, this is and it's still, and guess what? The preservatives in it, it's still good. Okay. Now, what is a moon pie anyway? It's marshmallow and
Got some
there
marshmallows.
are peanuts in it.
I think.
There's palm oil, soybean oil, cocoa processed with alkali, baking soda. Well, that's brush your teeth with that stuff. Salt. There's salt in candy. Here you go.
All righty.
You just pull it up. We could eat the moon pie. I got one for myself too.
Moon pie. Enjoy.
I can't eat all.
I can't what?
Oh, it's like cookies and marshmallows.
Oh yeah.
It's very bready.
Yeah.
I thought there would be more chocolate to it.
No.
It's like 3 cookies. It's like a hamburger cookie.
No.
3 buns, and then in the middle is this stuff. Yeah. Remember, I have to say, I was going to tell you, all this I'm not finished. And don't ever forget it. My wrapper fell. Ah!
Be careful.
I'm fine.
I got my wrapper on.
I see. I can't eat all this. In fact, I feel like I should take a nap after doing the 2 bites. See, now you know my secret. I get my friends to eat their dinner or to eat candy or something, and while they're eating and not talking, we'll finish this later. Anyway, put it in your packing. That's why I need the wrapper because I couldn't carry it all.
Yeah.
So how was it? Did it taste as good as you remember it?
It tastes a little different. You know.
I think
it was good, but it wasn't like, as much flavor since I was a kid. So.
I tell you what happened.
What?
I don't think it's changed at all. I think your palate has changed. Things you would eat as a kid that you thought was great, you won't eat now, and vice versa. Give you an example. When I was a kid, if there was like a bowl of like buttermints,
yeah,
they used to have it outside of like at the.
I used to love those when I was a kid.
Yeah, I can't eat those now. Circus peanuts, I could eat.
Like they have
those
like
big anything with marshmallow, I can't eat.
They have the buttermints at the Chinese restaurant.
Chinese restaurant, yeah.
Yeah, I used to get like a bunch of them.
Well, they've actually changed the buttermints now because they sometimes put them in wrappers,
Yeah.
or they have a little spoon that you put in your hand or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
People used to just grab it and put it in there, and they said that the most germ-laden place in a restaurant was where the mints were.
Yeah.
Everyone's sticking their hand in the bowl to get the mints.
Right.
We would have buttermints whenever we had company, but we never had it ever. In fact, I made the real poor person's statement once when we had guests of honor at our house. It goes, I like when guests come over because we have much better candy to eat. And it was buttermints. Not even chocolate.
Oh, Lordy, geez.
We would. What else we had? And I tell you, a lot of things like when I was a kid, I wouldn't eat tomatoes.
I love tomatoes.
As a kid,
Yeah. Well, I didn't really eat much vegetables since when I was growing up.
yeah. Well, no kid.
But
really
when
does.
I got older, I started to love, more healthier food.
Well, I'll tell you how
like
it works.
tomatoes and squash. And,
Well, I'll tell you how that works. I think kids have no problem with the flavor of tomatoes. Like they like ketchup on things, and they like spaghetti.
yeah,
so
I
they
love
like pizza.
ketchup. I love ketchup
But-
and pizza.
But tomatoes have this slimy, gushy sort of texture in their mouth.
Yeah.
And I know adults who still won't eat tomatoes because of that.
Yeah.
And then when I got over that, I was good. I remember my dad gave me a sandwich once, and I really did not like tomatoes. And he put slice of tomatoes on it. I guess, why did you put slice on tomatoes on my roast beef sandwich? He goes, I hate tomatoes. He goes, no, but the juices from the tomatoes make the meat and bread taste good. I said, I don't want any juices. Now when I eat a sandwich, I like a tomato on it. And then I don't like sauces very much, though. I never put mayonnaise or ketchup or anything on a sandwich.
Oh, when I was growing up, I didn't like mayonnaise.
Didn't like mayonnaise.
But now I like mayonnaise because I like the Duke's flavor. The
The Dukes.
Duke's brand. It's Southern made, so.
Well, let me tell you about specialty mayonnaise like Dukes. People say, well, you don't like mayonnaise because you haven't had like Dukes or Grey Poupon mayonnaise or something.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, no, I've had that, and I just don't like the idea of mayonnaise. People tell me I don't drink a lot of milk, or I don't drink milk at all, and I'm kind of lactose intolerant. And what happened was people would tell me, well, you could drink almond milk, or you could drink soy milk, or you could drink, coconut milk, or you could drink, I don't know, pine milk, or I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Oak. Hey, I could eat mahogany milk made from wood pulp or something.
Yeah.
And I say, no, I don't like milk at all. I don't like milk when it comes from the cow. Why should I like it when it comes from an almond? I don't want the milk.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm always wary about fake food, meaning milk without the milk, chocolate without the chocolate, that type of thing, because then they just take what's natural out of something and put chemicals in there. Is that any better?
Yeah.
No, it's no good better.
Yeah.
Might as well just have might as well just have the cheese with the cheese in it. That type of
Right.
anything in it.
Right.
But okay. So I told you about stuff I like now that I didn't like then. There's stuff I didn't like then and now I like.
Yeah.
But I remember. Did you ever have anchovies?
Oh yes, I love them.
You love them, okay. All right. Well, this anecdote is not for you. No, it's a joke. What happened was, I had anchovies, I think as a 16-year-old. It was on a pizza. I never went to a pizza restaurant that had anchovies, so I saw that they had anchovies. It was just, you could have one thing on your pizza, and a slice of pizza. And I had and they said, oh, anchovies, that sounds all right. So they put the anchovies on there, and I hated them.
Oh.
I couldn't. I'm 16 years old. So then, probably 20 years later, a friend of mine ordered an anchovy pizza for himself and offered everyone a slice. And then I said, well, 20 years ago was the last time I had an anchovy pizza. I'm going to have it, and I'm going to, maybe I didn't like it then, maybe I like it now. I'm more mature and more worldly and everything. And as it turns out, I hated it even more 20 years later. And I don't like anchovies. There's even an episode of a show called Futurama,
Yeah.
where the kid kept a 1,000-year can of anchovies.
Oh Lord.
and he I mean from like the year 2000 and then the year 3000, and it was the only one left. And so he was selling it for like millions of dollars. It was going on and then he finally keeps it himself and decided to share it with his friends, and they all took a bite and said, "Oh, this is the worst tasting." And of course he's eating them really great. Oh, they taste like I haven't had this in 1,000 years. It tastes so
Oh
good.
my lordy.
So anchovies are one of those things I don't like. I used to like barbecue sauce, but I don't like barbecue sauce anymore.
I love barbecue sauce.
Well, I think now when I get barbecue, I like anything that doesn't have barbecue sauce in it. I like just the barbecue, the meat.
Yeah.
I like the Carolina barbecue.
Oh, I love
Carolina. That's vinegar type. But if it has, in fact, we used to joke that there was this pig roasting I went to every year when I was had another job, and what happened was they would contend. First they'd bring out all the ribs, and then they'd bring out the barbecue. And what was weird was the barbecue had this sauce that wasn't very good, so you tried to fill up as much on the ribs as possible because it didn't have the sauce on it. Because once they smushed the sauce in it, it wasn't very good. They thought it was great. What is barbecue sauce anyways? Ketchup and brown sugar?
It's like ketchup, I think ketchup, brown sugar, and I think vinegar.
Yeah.
And they like mix it.
And they just smush it. And then, I remember there was a barbecue sauce that was pretty good. Bullseye?
Oh yeah.
Bullseye was very good, yeah.
I like sweet.
It's just,
I like Sweet Baby Ray's.
957.
Yeah, Heinz 57.
Yeah.
There's another brand that I like called Sticky Fingers.
Sticky Fingers?
Yeah. It
what does that taste like?
It's really good. It's kind of like
it's
kind of like a vinegary,
The tomato?
Yeah, it's a tomatoey, vinegary.
Because a lot of, I think you can't make a bad barbecue sauce in a sense, because every time you make a barbecue sauce, there's someone who's going to love it.
Yeah.
So, and some people just,
Yeah.
When I was living in Europe, I was on a radio and they brought this chipper fish and chips place. They put barbecue sauce all over the chips because I was an American. They said, "We understand Americans don't like vinegar on their chips, on their French fries," and I said, "Actually, I do like it, and I don't like it." But it was one of those. Thank you, and you had to chow it because they were nice to bring it, to us.
Yeah.
When people bring you free food, you kind of forced, obligated to eat it.
Yeah, I know.
We spent all day cooking this for you, and it's something you don't want to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, and thanks for thanks for enjoying the moon pie.
Yeah. It's
hey,
great.
Let's see. Isn't this a cool looking album? Jose Carreras.
Yes.
Jose Carreras is one of the three tenors.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now, if you remember, there was who was it? It was Luciano.
Okay.
And Placido Domingo, Luciano Pavarotti, and Jose Carreras, who actually didn't. I think he's the only one that's still kind of singing. Of course, Luciano died, and Placido's still singing, but he's now a baritone because he's in his 70s and he can't. Now I don't know how old Jose is. Jose is much younger. The three tenors got together because he was very sick with cancer. I think leukemia. I think. And when he got better, they said we'll throw some big charity concert with all three of us singing popular music from the operatic world and everything. And that was in Rome, and then it became a thing. Like every 4 years with the World Cup, I think it had to do with the World Cup. They did one in Los Angeles, and then they went on tour. Zubin Mehta and the orchestra. I think it was some Roman orchestra that did it, but Zubin Mehta and the New York Philharmonic, or I think it was the Los Angeles Philharmonic when he did it at Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine. And I saw Jose Carreras. He came to Newport News. I didn't get to hear
meet him.
I didn't get to meet him, but what's kind of neat I never got to see Luciano, but I got to see Jose, and I got to see at the Statue of Liberty celebration. I got to see Placido Domingo, and Jose is sort of famous in Seinfeld lore. One guy said that he was his favorite singer. He goes, you know, the three tenors, you know, Luciano and Placido. He goes, yeah. He likes the third guy. He goes, what's his name? I don't know. and it had an actor playing him. The real Jose Carreras is from Spain, and he's much younger than the others. And anyway, he did this with a piano, and he sang all these arias from great voice from opera. And then he did an encore. And I have to admit, I know a lot about classical music, and none of it was in English. It was all in Italian, even though it was in Newport News. Mm-hmm. He sang as his encore music to the Warsaw Concerto, and he sang it in English, and I thought that was a great encore, because I did know. Yeah. So then I found this album that actually has that on there. So this is the album. It's all in red. Yeah. Actually, it's not really all in red. I think this is let me show you a little better picture of him.
Yeah, that's what it looks exactly what it looks like.
That's what he looks like. Yeah. Well, that's what he looked like probably 20 years ago. And around the time of the three tenors. See, it's a red. See, it's all red, this thing.
Yeah, that's the way they made it. They make stuff these days.
Yeah, and so what happened was, so I went to buy this CD, and I found out he's like Rod Stewart. He had like 5 or 6 CDs of popular songs where he was just singing with his operatic voice. Yeah. In his case, popular music, and of course they're all good albums. Yeah. He said his favorite singer growing up was Mario Lanza. Oh. And a lot of these people they like Mario, who was a movie star. He wasn't but he had a very good voice, and I heard about Mario Lanza that he one night did perform an opera in Rome or somewhere as a last-minute replacement. And this is after he was a famous movie star. And they said it was the best performance he ever gave. And it's a shame that he didn't do more of that instead of just making these crazy movies. Wasn't much of an actor. Very good singer. Yeah. Yeah. But that's Jose Carreras. And so I suggest you... Yeah. I made a joke that he's the best singer. He really probably is the best singer I ever heard as a singer. His voice. And somebody said... And then this... woman we both know who's a singer said, I thought I was your favorite singer. I said, you're my second favorite singer. He's my favorite singer.
Yeah. And we're getting out one of my favorite jazz singers of all time. Guess who? Ella Fitzgerald.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Yay! Woo! Yay,
maybe the greatest the singer of them all. Or certainly one of the greatest female singers. I
have her album with Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
And it's a really good album. So.
Well, she had a lot of albums, and let me give you a rundown. When she came on the scene in the early 1930s with the Chick Webb band, they said the same thing about her they said about Barbra Streisand. Not much to look at, but boy, wait till she opens her mouth and sings. And because back then all women sadly all had to be gorgeous looking to be taken seriously. And but she was something else. Once she started singing, she was and Ella. I tell you, she became so popular with the Chick Webb band that Chick Webb was a dwarf and he was a drummer and he ran this band very well. It was like all black band, all African American band. And when he died very young, she took control of the band, or should I say, I don't think she took it. They call it the Ella Fitzgerald Orchestra, but. She was just because she was the singer, but she was so popular. Yeah.
My grandfather introduced me to her.
You met her?
I haven't met her, but my grandfather had CDs by her.
Oh yeah.
And he introduced me to her music.
She had a.
I wish I would have met her, but
she was around a long time.
Yeah.
She actually played in Richmond a few times with with the Richmond Symphony and stuff. And I always, I didn't really have much interest in seeing her or jazz in those days. Now I wish I would have. Yeah. She actually played at a nightclub here once.
Yeah, I wish I would have met her, back in the
day. I think she was like a lot. Now she would be these people that would command big bucks late in their career. late in her career, she didn't. She actually could still sing and still recorded albums and still made appearances here and there on television stuff. All blind. I think she had diabetes.
Yeah, she
had to be led on stage and led off stage. There's one I think is a tribute to Sammy Davis, and he was sick on the show, and we were talking about it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
She was led on the stage by I think Michael Jackson and Eddie Murphy. They walked her onto the stage, and she sang I think "Too Close for Comfort."
Wow, I think after a while she lost her legs and all that.
Well, yeah, it was very sad. So anyway, so a few years went by, that I had after this, and I said, it was weird. I said, I wonder how Ella is doing. I haven't heard from Ella in a long time. And and I'm not kidding you, just as it was like a Sunday morning, and as soon as I turned on the TV, they announced that she died on CBS Sunday Morning, which I always watch. And so I guess that's what happened to Ella. Ella was from Newport News, Virginia. I mentioned Newport News. Same place I saw Jose. Jose, can you see? I saw him in Newport News, and then she's from there. She's probably the most famous person from Newport News, Virginia, where they make the ships. And what else? She did these ads with Count Basie in the 1970s. Yeah. And it was is it live or is it Memorex? And what it was she could sing, make a high note, and it would shatter a glass. So they had to in the commercial they had a glass, and they would play a tape of her on this wonderful Memorex tape that they're trying to sell you.
Wow.
That the sound was so good that she could even not. You don't need Ella. You could just play the tape and it'll break your glass. Now I found out years later that you can't really break a glass like they do in the movies by singing a high note or something. Maybe you could, but I doubt it, because if that were the case, all your car windows, all your all your eyeglasses, all your sunglasses would be shattered. I mean, you wouldn't even want them to perform. It's like having the Midas touch. Everything you touch turns to gold. Every time she comes, hide your glasses. Here comes Ella. Ella. Now which brings me to this album. This album, I haven't really paid too much attention to what this album's about. I don't know what year it is. It's from Reprise Records. That's Frank Sinatra.
I think that's her early stuff.
No, this is not her early stuff. This is let's say what the year it is. 1989.
Wow, so that's.
So I mean, she was still in our lifetime, still performing, and she sings. This is an album produced by Richard Perry, who produces a lot of Carly Simon, a lot of good people. But she sings popular songs that were popular in the 60s and 70s. She sings Motown songs. She sings Burt Bacharach's "I'll Never Fall in Love Again," "Got to Get You Into My Life," by the Beatles.
Got to get you into my life.
Yeah. "Get Ready" is the first song by the Temptations.
Yes.
And "I Heard It Through the Grapevine" is on here.
Yes.
But she also sings like "Black Coffee," "Days of Wine and Roses," "The Theme to a Man from a Woman," "Willow Weep for Me." She sings older songs too. "Tuxedo Junction." But the thing is, what I'm trying, "Knock on Wood" she sings. A lot of these songs I don't know I know them when I heard it. The album is kind of interesting. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Because she sings these popular songs.
Yeah.
And they sometimes trot, people that are famous for one type of music out to sing new stuff.
Yeah.
And it never really sounds good.
No.
But this sounds good.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's still Ella's voice. In 1989, she still had a good voice. And the same type of Ella singing in the 1930s and 40s. And she's singing "Got to Get You In My Life" and all these other songs.
That picture of her when she was young.
Well, I think the picture is of her when she's. I think they were trying to sneak this by her loyal fans and trying to get her to think, "Oh, look, it's an old it's a early picture of Ella."
Maybe it was trying to get attention or something.
Yeah.
Like the people that remember Ella back in their day.
Yeah.
They try to sneak that particular picture. It was even though it was from like the 1940s and 50s.
Yeah.
For them to get it.
Yeah.
So they could listen to it.
Ella is rather timeless when you think
So,
about
yeah,
it.
she
She
is.
actually, after she had her initial success, she recorded for Verve Records, with with Louis Armstrong,
Right.
but she also recorded something called the Great American Songbook, which I think Rod Stewart has since done, where they just take many volumes, like volume 1, volume 2, where she just sings 10 songs or 15 songs of songs everybody knows at that time, Gershwin
Yeah.
songs, show tunes,
Oh yeah.
and the songs that
I
and
think
their
my grandfather had some.
Irving Berlin songs,
I think about grandfather had those CDs.
and they're like probably the best thing
I
Ella
think it
did.
was the they had like different colors of
Yeah.
the CDs and they had like a little cartoon of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandfather had those.
Ella is one of those people that there's no real bad albums by her.
Yeah, I know.
Even
think
I mean,
all of
even
them are-
you would think, oh, she's singing
Yeah.
the Temptations and
Yeah,
the Beatles.
all of them are
It's not going to
really-
be any good, but it is good.
Yeah, it's good. Even though no, we're not.
Yes, yes. So Ella is. So I recommend if someone Ella Fitzgerald to me is like the waltzes by Strauss. Oh, I don't like that music. I said, no, you have never heard that music. I've heard that music and I hated it. And then I say, no, if you heard that music, you would love it. Paid attention to it. So that's all that's going on there. So anyway, thanks for having me here
You're
today.
welcome. Well, it's been a great journey, everyone, and thank you all so much for being our loyal fans, and thank you all for tuning in every week. And may God bless you. Take care.